want my coffee? What the bloody heck? Far out, boys. Alright, I'm freaking watching you two. Look, I'm like this. Alright, welcome back to another fucking epic video where we finally finished the remedial and we absolutely smash out literally some concrete work. Today I'm going to discuss what cost me $2,500 from the original consent documents. We'll run through each little item that needed to happen, one being this area right here. But for now, I reckon we freaking start cutting some concrete and ripping it out. Another thing that cost me more money than necessary. But that's alright, let's do it. Remedial and foundation work today. Right, so I gotta freaking cut this slab out 600 mil off the building line. You good? Yeah, bro. Because our ground clearance isn't adequate enough. It's only about 100 mil and it needs to be 150, I think. You good? Alright, now I'm going to focus on this little area out over here. We're doing a small slab extension through this point right here. So we're going to be bringing the wall line out flush with this one here. So this is getting pulled out. I'm going to leave that in place now, just for security reasons and stuff like that. But we got an inspection tomorrow. We've got an engineer to come out inside it, and we've also got council to come out inside it so I can get it poured tomorrow afternoon. So while I'm doing that, I'm actually going to be cutting 600 mil back from the slab line out here, and the reason being is the detail that was drawn on the plans originally is non-compliant. So channel drain right up against the building, non-compliant. We've got to come out 600 mil and then put our channel drain out there and then pour the slab, pour a new slab in between down to the correct ground height level. So we've got about 100 mil at the moment between our slab height and the bottom plate, and we need at least 150. So that's what we're going to be trying to achieve there, which is a bit of a shame, but for now let's fucking rip into this, cut this through, chalk the line and then marked it with a crayon every about 600 centers, because as soon as I freaking start cutting with the water, that chalk line's going to go. While I'm freaking struggling over there, oh my gosh, you can't see, but I'm freaking, the concrete saw blade just freaking went blunt. I'm just struggling like shit. The boys are smashing it over here. Now there's a few little things that we had to take into consideration when removing this. It's well, just one thing actually. It's a garage door. So the garage door was actually connected. Did it spin, Dave?
No.
It didn't spin?
No. That's why I just screw it straight.
Oh yeah, perfect. So we've got these connections that were attached to the lintel. So the bar that runs through to the motor that spins the chain that drops the door itself was connected in. There's a few small things that were a little bit hard to get out, like the screws, but they managed to do it. So hopefully we can reconnect this back up when the big 300 goes in. But I'm gonna go back over there and keep cutting while these guys install this bad boy. How big? What's the distance between that trimmer stud to the truss? What's that size there?
330.
330.
32.
while that works out pretty well, we'll just be able to slide a packer plate right in there, eh?
Yeah.
That's going to work out mean. We'll put that in and then the packer plate and boom. Sweet. And then we'll stain that up and we'll frickin' close that back up because we frickin'... Don't worry about it, boys. You just stay over here, do this nice work over here, and I'll just keep doing concrete, eh? I hope you didn't cut it short. 100 mil trick. Oh, hide it on the inside though, eh? We'll do that.
Yeah, of course.
Far out. I hate to know how much that is, a linear meter. Hey, do you want a hand with that?
We should be okay.
Yeah, I mean, far out. Ooga, ooga, look at this. Ooh. Sure, Dave? Okay, go in. You might have to go in evenly. Yeah. Are you in, Fabian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tap that, Dave?
Yeah.
I got it. Don't hit my finger.
Ooh.
What? It's
I
alright.
went over.
No, that's good. That's
the
perfect.
top.
That's perfect. Oh, hit the bottom. Oh, hold on.
Whoa, whoa. Shucks.
What? I haven't let it go.
I got it.
You need it. Go up a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay, sweet. Tap
Oh,
it.
it's in. Oh, it's
Tap,
small.
tap it, tap it. Holy, look at that.
Yeah.
Bro, what old lintel?
In the middle, when you tap that in the...
That's the old blade. So these concrete blades have little diamond encrusted bits in the blade through there. You can see that this one's got nothing left in it. So hopefully this does the damage. That freaking works so well. Just cutting it up into little squares instead of using the breaker to break it out. So stoked with that. We'll just get rid of it. Do you want to jump on that side over there?
Come closer, you know it's alright. Won't you come closer,
600 all the way through here, but I want to focus on this today, which is mean. Now we've got all this freaking water sitting in here, and as soon as we dig our foundation through here, the water's going to sit inside it, so we want to try and get rid of that. So what I've done is I've just dug a little hole, and I'm just using this bucket to scoop it out. And then, yeah, Johnny, you can do that. Put that in the, put that into the thing as well if you want. And I'm just going to quickly grab a rake.
closer. You know it's alright. Won't you come closer?
Sweet. So this is pretty much what we're building, well we're digging out for right now. Sorry. You can see this is our existing slab. We're just going to do this little foundation system which sort of runs in line with this building here. And then we've got to go a minimum of 450 down and 250 along for our footing, and it's going to come up and along, so it's about 100 mil thick slab, and then we've got a compact 150 mil hard fill, so just tiny. I think I might be able to use the sledgehammer for that one. The rebar is going to be holding all this together. No, we'll do it right. But yeah, so we're just going to mark that out now, start digging at it. And then, yeah, ready to rock and roll, babes. What the fuck? Are you gonna get that in, Dave, or what? Dave! Oh, you're kidding! What's happening here, Dave? Are you putting the last piece in?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, go on! Get it in there! I can't believe it. Look at that. Woo, don't hit it too far. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Mate, that's crazy. Hell yeah, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. High five.
Oh yeah.
Far out. I can't believe you got to do it. That's ass to me. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh my gosh, what a mission. You guys are sad as to my eyes. Okay, sweet. Back to digging. Right, sweet, look at this. We've freaking smashed out that. 450 deep. Holy heck, that was easy, eh? Nice sticky clay, we've been sweating hard. So now what we're trying to, before I go removing some of this fines through here to get our the correct depth so we can infill with some hard fill. It seems a little bit silly to me, but we'll do it anyway. We're just removing any of the plasterboard, the exterior plaster from underneath here. There's a piece that's sort of sitting here. I'm trying to remove this, trying to get rid of all of this before I start digging it away so I have a nice clean slate. And when we go to pull this out, when we do the concrete pour, we don't have any debris going onto our polythene or anything like that. So it's just a bit of a mission that the carpet strips are actually now through this fixing tag, which has held it in place, and it's just becoming a bit of a prick to try and... Oh, there we go. Frickin' prick! You're right. It's a prick holding a dog bar right now.
No, he just has to do it in front of the camera.
Oh! Massive chicken. For backbone! Fabian's holding his breath today. He's like, shut up. Alright, now we've got everything sorted, everything's pulled off. Fabian's coming through and putting our hard fill in. We're about 260 mil below our finished floor level. And that's allowing for a 100 mil slab, 150 mil hard fill, and then 10 mil of fines on top to get it all nice and clean. So we just come through and you can put it on. Yeah, that's going to be heaps, eh, I reckon. Woo! Look at that, Dave's done an amazing job through here. Look at that, we've got our type H connections down here, handy brack and the T25, and then we come up, we've got our double straps. We don't have to put it on this side because we've got a double understud, so 2 straps, and then we've just got some studs to top plate connectors that sort of hold the truss to the lintel. And now he's just going through and putting some fixing points in between the, he's just going to go through and put some nogs in through here now for fixing points for our cladding and our battens. You can see he's already started over there. Epic. Righty, Tim Tidy, so we've got, look at my amazing drawing right here. I'm coming in, starting to tie these starters, these starter bars that run into the existing slab. So this is the existing slab through here. And then this is my starter bar that comes down along and ties into the footing. So what I've done is I've sort of made measurements on what I think these need to be, and that's what length I'm going to cut my starters out of this HD12. So you can see Fabiano's over there drilling them in at the moment. He's just being quiet for me, which is good. But I want about 120, we're drilling about 150 mil into the slab. So I've just allowed 125 mil of rebar into the slab, and then I've allowed 525 mil from the slab out, and that's going to give me 75 millimeters from the edge of the footing there. So this is all concrete through here, and then I've got about 430 mil down into the footing, and then 120 mil across. And that's just because I got I got close to 300 mil footing, and I want 75 each side, And then, yeah, I've also got, yeah, we're just making sure we got allowances for 75mm around the outside, even though there's polythene. Now I've cut these up. It equals close to 1200, so that makes it easy for me. Then I've just got my little jig here, and if I had my can of Dazzle, hey, you suck, it's over here. I'm just going to use my jig to get these two bends through here, which I'm just going to do. Chip, chip. I know, look at this, I'm using some enamel classic gloss. But anyway, I'm going to do that, and then we just use the steel bender, pretty much, to line this up through here. If I can get it. The dot where it needs to be. Now these are a little bit funny, you'll have to play around with it because the bend will happen in a certain way. I don't know how that makes sense, but sometimes your bend will be longer or shorter depending on what way you want to bend it. So just do a trial one, figure out your bends, and then you'll get that sorted. So. Woo, 425. This looks a little long actually. What the heck is that? 170, 180. 80. Fabian's doing now is he's really giving that hole a big, really good clean out. And the reason being is we want to get all the dust out of the hole, so when we go to put our epoxy in, yeah, we want to be able to have a nice clean surface for the epoxy to adhere to before we stick our steel in. So give a bit of a blowout and then another rub, and then we should be ready to rock and roll to lay some polythene. To put these starter bars in, we're doing 2 pumps slowly coming out. Is that the one I need?
Yeah, that's the one I cut.
And what we're doing is we're trying to get to 525 to the inside of our bar here. And I'm just working it in like that. And I'll get Fabian to measure that for me. 5.
Not too much.
About there?
Yep, right there.
Beautiful. Okay, next one. 1, 2. Like that. Yeah.
5 mil.
Sweet. Sorry for all the frickin' videos cutting out, honestly. The GoPro gets too hot. But we've got all our starters in, and now we've set in all our intermediate bars that run parallel to the starters, horizontal to the starters that get stuck into the foundation system. So we've sort of stuck those 2 big long ones in prior to finishing off the starters, but now we've got the rest of them in there, so we're just going to go through and hit them, get them in, and then that's going to be us for the day. Not super proud about that corner down there, but sometimes it is what it is. Hit. Beautiful. Damn thing. That's alright, that's good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Holy. Hold on, 1 sec. Yeah, bro, beautiful. Woohoo! We'll just tie this off and we'll see you in the morning for a bit more action, eh? Oh, hi! Look where someone got left last night. What the bloody heck? I was like, where the hell's the camera?
Where'd you do that?
Oh, it's hiding behind the frickin' wall. Alright, we're back into it. We're just having a bit of a clean up because it was all frickin' go yesterday afternoon. We're going to finish this off. We're going to finish by boxing this out, tying the steel in. Dave's gone down the road to go get the mesh for this. And I think what we'll do is we'll pull this door out as well. And the reason being is we need it to pour the slab. But then I'm not going to be able to get it fucking back in, bro.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a big open thing.
No, we can cover it with something, surely.
Oh, nah, I don't know. Might be able to cover it with the rest of your hair on the top of your head. Oh, cheers, eat that skunk says. Alright, so this is actually the last bit of remedial we're going to do. I didn't forget about it, but I was just so excited about getting that freaking big lintel in. Anyway. Doesn't matter. So, what have we discussed so far? We've discussed the garage door lintel that needed to be spec'd by the engineer. We've discussed the channel drain that was non-compliant on the back side of the house. Now we can sort of discuss this here sort of area right here. Now, we've got a couple of studs underneath this lintel that's running through here, or this beam. You can't really see it, but it's behind here, this beam here. So we replace those. We need new connection details for that. And we have to engage the engineer again for those, and same with this post needs to be replaced. So what we need to do is we need to engage the engineer to see how deep we want to go for this, and also the connection detail between the post and the beam up over here. So there's a small, that's sort of the third thing that we had to do in regards to the council requests. Now there's a few details like this around the house, but it's good to try and knock them all out in one hit with the variation itself. So yeah, we've got a few things that the engineer that had to do, and then a few things that the architect had to do. So the architect was the channel drain, and also did the lintel fixings, figured out the lintel fixings for us on each window, which is pretty good. And then he also did the bracing calculations, because, actually, wait till the end for that. Just going to drop down, isn't it? We can put it there.
Better.
Okay, sweet. So we just use the string line punched into the corner here, fixed point there, fixed point there. It's going to get our height and our width nice and straight. So we use that, and then that's how we got our bracing system through here done. So now we're just going to try and pull this post out. It's freaking, there's a bit of movement. We can move the top, but she's pretty stiff down there. So I'm going to break it out with the, what's that called?
Jack over.
Yeah, that's what they get. Digging along here just to try and expose the foundation. It's gonna be heavy as bro, I'll come out. So we obviously had to take the door out in order for us to get our level nice through here, our concrete level nice. But we just had engineer sign off on this. A thing that I didn't show you, what we're installing is we've got this water stop system through here. So we've just put a high-tech glue that attaches this water stop through here, and what happens is when the new concrete goes in, It pressurizes in between the concrete, and when the water comes up, it expands and stops any moisture coming up through into the new floor area. So done that all the way along. Now we're ready to pour this, and the hole over the other side is now dug and been signed off by the engineer. We're just waiting for council. So we will go through and we'll put our post in and our connections, and then I have to go pick up the insulation and some weatherboards and a whole bunch of stuff. So I'll take you along the ride with me, I guess, and I'll leave a camera here for Fabian to get a time lapse of installing the concrete. Woo! So when we're measuring our posts, I'm going hard into the clay there, and then I'm measuring up to my beam, which is 3 meters 60. Now we want to minus 100 mil. The reason being is we don't want this post to be hard on the clay there, because the moisture can come up through the bottom of the post and rot it out. We want a good solid 100 mil underneath the post to encapsulate the post itself to stop it rotting out. Also, another thing that can happen is if the post is hard on the ground down there, over time it can actually sink through the concrete, and it can move up and down. There's no concrete underneath it to stop it from going through the clay. Mind you, we've got pretty solid clay there, so we'll cut that, put that in, get our bracket sorted, brace it out, and the boys are ready for concrete and they can move on to the next little mission. Alright, so Fabian had a really good question. He says, do you want to square both ends? And most of the time I would say yes, but in a situation like this, we want to try and keep the factory edge into the ground. It just gives it a little bit more protection and a little bit more longevity. So, yeah.
So won't you come closer? You know it's alright. Won't you come closer, baby? Stay with me tonight. We're in this crazy, hazy land. Let's get away from this bar.
And we are here.
Baby, take my hand. We don't have to walk that far to get to my home place. I wanna show you something more. Let's reach out for a place where we've never been before. Don't need to hesitate, 'cause it's getting late. The night
So I need to know the do's and don'ts of blind date. And also we have some unopened messages tomorrow. Bye!
FM, home of the morning chef.
And of course, if you have a cough or are feeling a little under the weather, save those baby cuddles for another day. Let's protect our most valuable taonga. Immunise.
Right, so I frickin' just made it back. What was that? 4-hour round trip, eh? So we passed it. We passed council, eh? Yeah, he just wants the inspection notes for that, which is fine. Happy as. But I've just been around the roundabout. I went and picked up a bunch of tarps for the job happening up at Taupo Bay. The insulation for this project. I got some second-hand weatherboards there that are pretty mint that I picked up. Cavity closer. Also went to the job that the boys did last week. The deck job, the clients wanted some new vent covers over the top. Because they were blowing in the wind, they were the flappy ones like this. Like, oh, I don't know. But did that, and then I made it back here. Got the boys a cold drink. Concrete's being poured. Fabiano's going through and knocking out up through here. That's for our fixings again. He's come through and he's put CPCs for our purlin fixings through here. CPC 80 on there, CPC 40 on each side, and there's CPC 80 there. Because we don't want to pull the roof off and put a blue screw in. So
The CPC is solid as.
yeah. Holy, look at this. And Dave's freaking smashed this out. So look at that. Nice little slab extension. Beautiful. You've done a really good job, Dave. But we're good at this, eh?
Yeah, bro. I remember I told you the oh, bro, I didn't want to go.
Yeah, what, your driveway?
Yeah,
Well, come on. What happened with the driveway, bro?
Oh, happy, bro.
Hey, far out. You got the ding dong contractor in, eh?
Yeah, that's the worst of the worst? What's the worst?
What one do you want? I got options, bro.
Have the blue one, please.
There you go. Oh, what you doing?
Hey,
Hi-
check out the camera feel VT.
Actual?
Yeah.
Oh, good man. Good man. Bro, what a freaking day.
Wait, straight up.
Fuck, just 2 more of those, bro, and we're fucking off to the races. Fuck yeah, Wolfgang, baby, we're on. It's amazing how much you can get done, eh, if everything's organised properly. Yep. Right, sick. Oh, and it's the workers too, eh?
You're good at that organized.
Woohoo! What an epic last couple of days. We frickin' smashed it. Holy shit. Hope you guys enjoyed this bloody video. That was a good one, eh? Holy hell, lots of shit going on. But time to discuss the extra $2,500 I had to spend on documents for the council. That doesn't include the $18,000 I spent actually getting the consented documents through. But this just goes to show all the extra costs that are incurred when you decide to buy a leaky home. Get out of here! What you doing? Hey, hello! Oh, Jay, get out of it! Come on. So yeah, first things first is obviously when we stripped all the cladding off. We had to get the remedial work. So first things first. When we ripped all the cladding off, we obviously got our timber consultant to come and spray the timber up, and there were some load bearing points and lintel fixings and stuff that needed to be adjusted, so we had to engage the council and the engineer in regards to that, and that's what's cost me an extra $2,500. So the architect was around $1,900 and the engineer was around $550. So yeah, so the architect pretty much had to redesign our lintel fixings and the channel drain out the back there, and also include the new bracing system that we use for the eco-ply barrier. Because we removed so much framing on the external envelope, we've pretty much destroyed all internal bracing elements, and instead of redoing them all, which we'll probably have to rip off half the jibboard inside, we're going to use the eco-ply barrier as the bracing system, so that works out quite well. Man, that eco-ply barrier has actually come in handy quite a bit. I know it's far more expensive than your standard building wrap, but I've been able to reclad this whole place without having tarps and frickin' tarps or a big tent over the top. It sort of pays itself off in tenfold, really. I'm going to be able to put all the insulation in, wrap it up, and then boom, done, which is pretty cool. You can also use it for your bracing system, which is epic, so big shout out to that eco-ply barrier. But yeah, and so the engineer, he had to pretty much design some connection details like I showed you earlier in the video, and obviously recalculate that lintel fixing, that lintel detail right in here, that lintel detail, changing that from a standard 300 by 50 to a high span 300 by 50 or 2 times 350. But yeah, what an epic few days. We're pretty much ready for remediation, for the timber consultant to come back in and check all our framing that we've done it all right, and also the council. I got 3 inspections booked for Friday, so we got insulation, framing, and the remedial check. So it's gonna be good. Make sure you stay tuned for the next one. Sorry for mumbling and sorry for the Rona jumping in on that, but I'll catch you on the next one. Hey, peace. Hey, like and subscribe, alright? Fire up, we've been smashing it. These videos are epic.